what happens to a Treecat's body that dies off-world? Are they buried locally or returned to Sphinx?
But it really doesn't happen very much. Hasn't happened very much. Treecats aren't really as invested in what happens to the body of another tree cat. Okay, now that doesn't mean, for example, that I have a scene in a short story that it's a scene for a short story that I haven't found a place to put. Okay, in which a mother tree cat finds her dead kitten. Okay, and she was feeling the kitten's mind blow right up to the moment that the kitten dies. And there's a scene with her with the body of this little tree cat that she's just she's just clutching close, even though she knows that he's gone. Okay, so I'm not saying that they don't have that there's not that element for a tree cat, but tree cats, because of their ability to speak mind to mind, because of their ability to feel emotions and whatnot, draw a very clear distinction between the person they know and the body that person lives in. Okay? And it's the person they knew, who they shared emotions and thoughts with, that they mourn. Okay? So they don't feel a special need for elaborate burial rituals. I mean, they show respect and that kind of thing, but it wouldn't occur to a tree cat to put up a monument to someone.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so exactly where, let's say that a tree cat's person is killed off-world, okay, and that the tree cat dies as well. Okay, well, the other tree cats would figure wherever his person is where he should be.
Okay.
All right. And most tree cats who are off-world, certainly in the first 2/3 of the books, are going to be there because they're bonded to a specific human being. They frequently, normally die when their human dies.
Okay.
They grieve themselves to death, if nothing else. There are, I think we've met 2 tree cats in the entire series who didn't.
Okay.
And both of them, there were very, very strong countervailing circumstances in play. Okay.
Is there any chance for a UK book signing tour in the future?
I don't know. I'd love for there to be one. You have to understand that right this moment, there's a certain maturity quotient involved in people passing behind the camera. However, I digress. We'd love to. The problem, of course, is how we get to the UK. Signing tours actually are less for the author's sales. I mean, it could definitely have an impact. Than they are for the bookstores involved. Okay. If I go to a store in Boston to sign, and they sell 120 copies of my book because I was there that day. Okay, that 120 copies in the 60 or 70,000 or so hardcover total is not huge for me or for the publisher. But it may be significant for the bookstore, especially if it's a smaller store, or if it's a store that has worked especially hard with the publisher to support not just my books but other authors with the same thing. So the decisions about where publishers are sending authors on signing tours have a lot of factors involved. One is making the author available personally in a given market. For example, I'm East Coast, so we've done signing tours specifically on the West Coast for fans who might not be able to get to a convention that I'm attending or something, but who want an opportunity, so that's a factor. But there are also financial considerations involved with the publisher. Okay, and transatlantic flight is a pretty hefty expense compared to how would you like to go to Kentucky?
Right.
Okay. I mean, in the good old days, I would do driving signing tours that would start in Greenville and go through Atlanta to Chattanooga to New Orleans and then up by way of St. Louis and Cincinnati, home, by way of Richmond. Okay. And I'd be on the road for a week or so, 2 weeks while I was doing it. So, we did signing tours like that in the early days. Like I say, be on the road for a couple of weeks, and the publisher really, they were okay with that then. These days, they're like, stay where you are and write. And it can be discombobulating for the author sometimes, too. The good thing about it is that you get to meet readers who you might never meet otherwise. That's great. And you get to meet some of the people who work hard in bookstores to sell your books. I'm not sure how much Amazon is cutting into signing tours either, because a lot of the small indie bookstores are just gone. And that was who most of my signing stops with. We did Barnes & Noble, we did, some of the big stores. Right. We did a lot of the smaller stores as well. And that's one of those things where you're supporting the store more than you are the sales of the particular book involved. You see what I'm saying? As somebody who grew up in local bookstores, I hate what's happening. I don't see any good way to prevent it. I think the bookstores, the indies that are going to survive, are going to be the ones where they've carved out a special niche in terms of the knowledgeability of the staff in the special area that they serve. But I'd love to do another signing tour in the UK. I've had a wonderful time every time I've been to the UK. And British fans are cool. But I think the last time I was there was for EasterCon, like, 6, 7 years ago. I've been to the continent like 3 times, I think, since then. But it's a different kind of, it's not for a signing tour, it's for a specific convention or something like that.